Hey everybody, my name is Carrie Mubarak and I am at wooingnature.life. I'm the lead intuitive there, and so I am intuitively bringing you a message for the eclipse that's happening. So it is a it's a new moon eclipse. So we are in a new moon period. During the new moon is the time when the sun and the moon are in conjunct. They are operating together, so it's a real good time to get in synchronicity with yourself, your two sides. Everybody has two sides, a male and a female, or right and left brain, or whichever way you want to think about your dual nature. We are all in a dualistic society and a dualistic construct here on planet Earth. And so when the full moon and the new moon, which is the masculine energy and the feminine energy, are operating together, then it syncs us inside of ourselves too. And then of course the moon is associated with feelings and emotions, and also the feminine as well. So you get in touch with your feminine, you're getting in touch with your masculine too, because it's a new moon, and you're also kind of getting yourself in sync with what's happening in the universe. So we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening with the moon, and then on the other videos you can see what's happening specifically and according to your element. So if you're earth sign, air sign, fire sign, or water sign, you can check back into the channel and I will tell you what's happening with you in relationship to the new moon that's coming in on July 2nd. It's coming in actually today on July 2nd. So let me see, where do I want to start? The first thing is new moon. New moons are times for setting intentions, or it's also a really good time for you to self-reflect. So if you don't have any intentions set, don't worry about it. Like if you don't have it all together right now, if you haven't quite figured out your game plan, if you don't exactly know what you want, then this is still a good time for you, because you can take the time to think about it. So meditation is highly recommended during the new moon. Relaxation, taking some time out for yourself, pulling yourself kind of away from the fray so that you can really hear yourself while you are operating in synchronicity, because that will give you a better sense of yourself when everything is together. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know yourself when you're all over the place, but do you know yourself when you're really together? And so meditation can help with that. So get your meditation on, and get your me time on. Take time for yourself. Journaling is also good. So, and that's also for those people who are setting intentions and those people who are trying to get your intention together. Still journal anyway, because you can always go back to it and see where you've come and see what you set down. Like sometimes people are like, well, I wanted this to happen and that to happen, and it didn't happen like the way that I thought it was going to, and I'm like all stressed out about it. Well, go back and read what you intended, because sometimes it's in the language of the intention, sometimes it was what was behind the intention. I can't say enough to people that your motivation is what fuels your thoughts, and whatever's motivating you then is ultimately going to fuel what you say, how you speak, how you frame things in reference to what you want and what you need. And it's also going to frame your actions. So you got to look at your intentions. You got to look at, not your intentions that you're setting, but your own personal intentions. And then you also need to think about what's motivating that, because sometimes you can be negatively motivated to do a positive thing. You can be positively motivated and it not yield anything. So you just want to think about that moving forward, and this is a great time to do that. Any new moon is a good time for self-reflection, okay? This new moon we're going to get into a little deeper, because there is an eclipse happening at the same time. So there's a solar eclipse on the new moon day, and so it is going to quicken the energy, the actions, anything that's action oriented, which I'm going to say right now is going to be setting your intentions toward a specific goal, will get some momentum. It's going to get the turbo boost of energy. So if it's something that you do know that you want to have happen and you want it to happen quickly, this is the perfect time to set that intention, because you've got the solar eclipse fuel injector happening at the same time. So go ahead and take full advantage of that and use that as a mechanism for moving forward. So, getting more specific about the moon, we're going into the degree status. The new moon is in the 10th degree during the eclipse, the 10th degree of Cancer. So, we are in a Cancer moon. Cancer moon is when the moon is in its natural sign and placement. Okay? So, the moon, which rules Cancer, is in its natural placement right now. So, everything that the moon embodies, like feelings, like emotions, like getting in touch with the feminine side, syncing you with what's going on internally and not just externally, all of that kind of stuff is fair game for what's happening right now. Okay, the other thing that you want to think about is that this is also a time for self-reflecting in relationship to family, or reflecting on your family. Usually, because it's the 4th house, we're talking about not your family of choosing, but your family of origin. So if there's issues that are going on in your family, if there are skirmishes, if you're headbutting with somebody, not getting along with the person in your family, still nursing trauma, if you are still nursing trauma from your childhood or from a parent or from a sibling, not necessarily siblings, but just in the family dynamic in general, then it may be getting a fair amount of focus. So you may have things cropping up around your family. You may have those phone calls that you really don't want to take. You also may have the phone call that will change everything, that will change the dynamic of your relationship. So don't not take the call. Take the call, but be in a good headspace when you do. Particularly, like I said, if there's issues, trauma, problems, things that are needling at you in relationship to your family. Don't take the same approach. Take a gentle approach and take a humorous approach. The 10th degree of Cancer, which is what this moon is in, is encouraging the use of laughter for healing. So if you're healing trauma, if you're healing issues, find a way to laugh at whatever it is. Find a way to find the levity in the situation. Some things are really heavy and they're very difficult to find something to laugh about. I'm not suggesting that you ignore your pain, but what I'm saying is that this moon is saying, learn to laugh, learn to bring joy into your life. Laughter is the best medicine. So if you're healing, then you need to be laughing. You need to be finding the joy at this time too. And then also, if the situation that you're dealing with, whether it's family or relationships or work or whatever it is, apply the laughter to it too, but mostly laugh at yourself. Like if you want to bring the laughter and you want it to be funny, but you don't want to make fun of people. Like you don't want to be so tongue-in-cheek or so sarcastic about it that you then hurt somebody, or that your tongue becomes a dagger. They say that the power of life and death is in the tongue. So when you're speaking and when you're making light of something, don't offend people. So my suggestion is, if you're going to make something be funny, then make fun of yourself, even with other people. So if you're making fun of yourself, then people can laugh at that aspect of themselves without it feeling like you're attacking them in some kind of way. And you want to be careful about that, because the placement of Mars right now, and we have Mercury coming in retrograde very soon, you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, because then your intentions will backfire on you. So be careful about how you say things, but at the same time, try to make light of the situation. The best way to do that is to kind of bring it back on yourself. Like, if you're having insecurities, or if you're feeling bad about something, or if you're harboring guilt, or, the things that make you heavy, the things that bring you down and make you heavy, and you go, oh, when you start thinking about this, it goes, you know what I'm saying? That's when it's time to laugh. Laugh at yourself and feel and learn how to bring some joy into your life. And that's what this Cancer moon is asking of us. That's what it's suggesting for us, especially if we're dealing with issues of healing and healing past pain or anything like that, is to try to bring the joy back into your life. Can't talk about using humor for healing without talking about the Heyoka. So if you're familiar, the Heyoka energy or the Heyoka spirit is a part of a Lakota tradition. He is considered to be, or that spirit is considered to be, the sacred clown. So for others of you who are studying different traditions or who are connecting to other traditions, I'm sure that there's something like this. There's the tricksters, trickster energy, Heyoka energy, spider, Anansi. I'm trying to think of all of the Kokopelli, all of those spirits that bring the spirit of laughter and teach us through laughter are kind of the same thing as the Heyoka. The thing about Heyoka, though, Heyoka can use some sarcasm. It uses the energy of opposites too to kind of shake us up out of our our normal modus operandi. So if we're always like thinking about this situation in this way and it's not getting you anywhere, you kind of stuck in it and it keeps like going like this and you keep going and it doesn't go anywhere. Heyoka energy, laughter, humor through opposites, trickster, that kind of teaching can kind of get you out of that mindset. It can kind of jar you a little bit, and it actually opens your heart. Laughter is intended to open the heart and open the heart chakra and open your mind so that you can receive something else, and it's there to unstick you. So if you're feeling stuck, then connect to your Heyoka energy or whatever tradition kind of applies to that, whether it's trickster, the trickster energy, the spirit of opposites, using opposites to teach. And the other thing is mirroring. This is a real, also, like, mirroring is good. So you know how we're always talking about you're in a situation and how does it mirror you, or how is it reflecting back something about yourself? Well, it can be used in the opposite way too. And since we're talking about Heyoka and opposites, why not take that mirroring technique, or that mirroring, the thing about mirroring someone, and use it outwardly. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So you know how you have that person that you don't get along with, or they like, it's like every time you're around them, I don't know, the hair on the back of your neck stands up and they just irritate you, but you got to be with them for some reason. Either it's somebody you work with, could be somebody in your family. We're talking about family issues. Could be somebody in your family. And every time you're around them, they just bother you and you just can't figure them out and they can't figure you out. And basically you're just like constantly having some kind of tension going on. Well, what you can do, and you can do this in private so you don't feel crazy or whatever, is embody that person's personality act like that person for a little while. Put yourself in the position of being that person. And that's an old method acting technique too that can work for your personal life. In my other life, I do theater, so I know about it. How you doing, sweetheart? But that's what that can do for you. That's what it can do for you, is it can just like allow you to be in that person's head, be in that person's headspace, and also be in their vibe, so to speak, and then you can understand them better. So do that. Like you can mirror a body position. It could be a gesture that that person does, or you can really, if you're really feeling froggy and you want to get all into your acting zone, you can just kind of embody that person for a day, and act like them, behave like them, try to talk like them, do their same gestures. And what happens is you can see where they're coming from a little differently. So it does work. Sounds a little strange, sounds a little weird, but like I said, actors do it all the time. Method actors do it all the time so that they can embody the character and bring the emotion to the character that they're trying to put up on stage or in film or whatever. And it does. It allows you to get into a headspace around a character. And people do that. Actors do that, particularly around characters that are difficult to play. So if it's, let's say you're playing an evil character, or you're playing a mean person, but you're not really a mean person, embodying that character will allow you to be able to be sympathetic to them, which makes you be able to portray them differently. And so in your case, what you're doing is you're using it so that you can understand the person differently. So this is also a good time to do some mirroring exercises, especially if it's something that you feel if it's something that's causing you some issues or some problems, or it's getting you out of your zone or whatever it is. So that's it. That's the new moon for July 2nd. I think that's everything. Check back into the channel. I will be doing the new moon view for earth signs, air signs, fire signs, and water signs. And you can get a little more specific around your element, so you can like get in sync with nature and get in sync with the moon and get in sync with the universe, and then get in sync with yourself. As always, I wish you a very happy day, a very wonderful new moon that's coming in. And if you need me, reach out to me. I'm at info@wooingnature.life, or you can also reach me at Kerri, Kerri at wooingnature.life. Check out the website wooingnature.life for other things, other services, meditation classes, Reiki, stone healings, and all of that. Have a great day.